Hello, welcome. My name is Kranz and I work for the City of Boise's Parks and Recreation program. I am our art programs coordinator, and today the purpose of our videos is to bring you some art projects that you can do at home. My background specifically is in clay. I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts from Boise State University and I had an emphasis in ceramics. So I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm hoping today, me and my lovely guest, who is my favorite person in the world, Anna's 9 years old, she's in 4th grade, gonna be 10 next month. She's going to be with me in these videos, and we're gonna be doing a lot of fun stuff that you can follow us and work from home. So today, what I wanted to do was talk about working in clay and how we can do this at home by getting a little work area set up that we can go to and have a lot of fun. So the first thing we need is a workspace. So when you're working at home, clay can be very messy. So we are down here in our basement, which is our laundry room. This is a great place for us to work because we can kind of get messy, and it's a laundry room, so who cares? It's not like a dining room table. But many of you don't have this, and so a dining room table or a coffee table or even the kitchen will work just fine. Just remember to clean up afterwards so you don't annoy the people in your household all the time. So the first thing we need to get started is a surface to work on. Here in my studio, I have a canvas board. I have two of them actually, one right here, and this is the second one that I use. Now this is what we use at Fort Boise, but it's just a wooden particle board with canvas attached to it. But if you do not have that and don't have access to that and don't feel like building it, there's some alternatives that you can use at home. So Anna, why don't you show our guests what alternatives we can use?
You can use some newspaper or just a wooden board.
Or just a plain wooden board. A plain wooden board that is unfinished, meaning it does not have any paint or any varnish. When you have non-porous surfaces such as plastic or granite countertops or laminate countertops, things that do not absorb water, the clay, when you're working and you get it really wet, will stick, and then it's difficult. So we want something like that. So even just newspaper or junk mail will work. Next thing we need is clay. So here is a block. This is about 5 or 6 pounds of clay, and they are sold in 25-pound blocks, which means it was about this size. Now, where can we get clay? We can get clay from the Pottery Center in Garden City. They are not open right now for in-person visits, but if you go to their website, thepottercenter.com, or call them at 208-378-1112, you can set up a delivery to have some clay delivered to your home. I think for a 25-pound block, clay is going to run usually in the $12 to $15 range. Now, the type of clay you need is very important. You need cone 10 clay. Unless you're an experienced potter that knows what they're doing and knows about firing temperatures, you can get whatever you want. But if that's not you and you're doing this for the first time or don't have much experience, cone 10 clay is what we need. So just say cone 10 clay. That's the temperature rating. Now, the reason we want a certain temperature rating is because most of you do not have kilns at your house. So you're going to need to fire this. Once Fort Boise is open for business, we will offer firing for anybody who needs it at a very low rate. We have a firing rate which is very reasonable. So for instance, this pot here that Anna's building, it's probably going to be this tall or so, pretty big. The firing rate, based on how much space it takes in the kiln, is kind of going to be about $2. So pretty good deal. Now, the next thing you're going to need is tools. The Potter Center sells a tool kit that I think is somewhere between $15 and $20. It includes most all of this stuff. However, some of you might be just doing this casually and not sure you want to make a long-term hobby out of it. You're just looking for fun things to do and try, which I think is awesome of you guys. And so we have, for each tool that we have, I've found items around the house that you can use instead that will work just as well. Maybe not quite as convenient, but will work just fine. So the first thing in the kit is a round sponge. Looks like this, pretty simple. Anna, what could they use at home instead of a round sponge?
They could use a dish sponge.
A dish sponge, yeah. I didn't cut it in half because it's a little bit big, or maybe in fourths. The second thing that's in the kit is what we call a rib. This is a flexible metal tool and actually this is my favorite tool to use. This is the one tool I could not give up in pottery. But probably don't have anything like this around home that is flexible and about this size. So Anna, show them what I made. I can explain. So this is a rib that I made. I just cut up the lid of a coffee can, and it was a little bit thin. And so I put the shape that I cut out, this rib shape here, and I put it on the other side of the lid, and I cut out an exact replica, and then I super glued them together. For this, super glue works best. Elmer's glue will probably not work, but this will work just as well. Pretty cool. The third thing that you need, this one is not included in the kit, is the same rib, but this one is serrated. As you can see, it has teeth on it. Anna, what could they use around home instead of that?
A fork.
A fork. A fork will work great. It has the same type of teeth that we need. Okay, this one does come in the kit, is a needle tool. I use this for cutting up clay, things like that. Anna, what could they use instead of a needle tool?
A kitchen knife.
Yep, a steak knife that's nice and dull. Doesn't need to be sharp, you don't need to cut yourself. This one is very, very dull, and so a steak knife works great. A butter knife would work too, not as well, but steak knife is best. The next thing that comes in the kit is a wooden tool. I use this for smearing clay together. So for instance, I use this edge just like that, and that's what this thing does. Anna, what could they use instead?
The bottom of a fork with tape on it.
The bottom of a fork with tape on it. I don't know that you need the tape. I just was thinking that it might slide better, so it might not be necessary. You can try it. Last thing that comes in the kit is a wire tool. This is used for slicing clay. If this were a block of clay, I'd run this right here and slice right through it. Anna, what could they use at home instead?
Fishing line.
Fishing line. What if you're not a fisherman then? And you don't have fishing line?
You just take it apart with your own.
You just have to tear it apart with your hand, which will work just fine. Not as neat, not as easy, but will work. Okay. Another thing you would need, everybody probably has one of these at home. If not, I recommend getting this style from the grocery store when you make your trip. This is just a wooden spatula. It has a convex shape on one side, which will work great for shaping our pot later. So we will show you how to use this later, but this is really essential. Next up, you need something to cover your clay with when you're not working on it and you don't want it to dry out further. Anna, what would they use?
A trash bag.
Trash bag works great. And the last thing you would need is a cleanup sponge. This is a nice big sponge. You can probably buy one at the grocery store. If you don't have a cleanup sponge or don't want to get one, a towel will work just fine. So those are the things we need to get set. In the next video, we are going to talk about how to build something like this. This one's kind of in progress right now. Anna's been working very hard on it for a few days, and we're going to talk about how to do this and show you step-by-step instructions. And if you follow the instructions, I think you will have a lot of fun, and I think you'll really impress yourself and surprise yourself with the things you can make. So until next time, stay safe and remember to follow the federal, state, and local guidelines on social distancing to keep yourself, your family, and everybody else safe and stop the spread of this disease. Thank you. See you next time.